Okay, people, before I start, let me just say you got what you voted for, okay?
Right there, the fobs being activated to find out where the cars are going. Again, Fast and the Furious in real life.
It's just not worth it. Don't throw your life away. Live look now at
Here we
Denver,
go.
Colorado, where city officials say they will close 4 shelters and scale back migrant services. It's because of a budget shortfall.
Yeah, major story that's coming as Texas has sent thousands of illegal migrants to the state's largest sanctuary city. Host of Sunday Report, John Glasgow, live in the newsroom. He is following this story for us. Good morning, John.
Good morning to both of you. Denver so far has spent $58 million on helping migrants.
58 million spent on illegals. Keep that in mind.
Who started arriving in the city over the last 2 years. Now, Texas has been shipping them there by bus month after month. The city's new mayor says Denver has received more immigrants per capita than any other city in the country. But now, the state's only sanctuary city is saying it can't handle the increasing cost to house the migrants. Denver is now considering cutting some of its employees' hours to ease the budget concerns. City officials say that some workers, mainly in the city's Department of Parks and Recreation, may have their hours cut to zero. So
Keep that in mind. Their hours cut to zero. These are city employees, U.S. citizens. Hours cut to zero. Remember that.
those funds will be reallocated to address the immigrant crisis in the budget there. So Mayor Johnson has avoided the word layoffs when it comes to these impending budget cuts. Denver is short $180 million due to the cost of these illegals arriving in Colorado. And nearly 40,000 of those migrants are mostly from Venezuela. And they've arrived in the past year. As of this week, more than 2,300 people are living in city-funded rooms at 7 hotels and 3 other buildings.
City-funded rooms. Illegal aliens coming to this country illegally, keyword here is illegally, are housed by Denver.
Now, combat that with Denver's major homelessness problem. It's only making the issue worse.
These are U.S. citizens. These are veterans. They're homeless. And Colorado, Denver here, is housing illegals instead of these homeless veterans. A lot of them veterans.
The city is now considering hiring the migrants to work.
Did you catch that? The city is considering hiring the migrants to work for them. Earlier, they talked about laying off employees, or they didn't say laying off, but they said cut their hours to zero. Now they're talking about hiring illegals. So in other words, they are putting illegal aliens ahead of U.S. citizens. Remember, they're cutting their hours to zero, and here they're talking about hiring illegals? Remember, all you people who voted Democrat, who voted for Joe Biden, you got what you voted for. Let's continue.
As a last-ditch effort to help the rising prices, even as the Biden administration has warned state governments against hiring people without federal work permits. Democratic Senator John Hickenlooper said with Congress's unwillingness to help, it could be the only option.
Here we got the U.S. government allowing these illegal aliens to come in illegally, and they're telling everybody to not hire them, which is right, but why are you letting them in? So now you got an influx of homeless, illegal aliens who can't work. What are they going to do? They're going to resort to stealing. They're going to resort to crimes. Remember, Democrats, you got what you voted for.
I think at a certain point, if the federal government doesn't act, local communities are going to have to. They're going to have to figure out some way to tell you can work now if you're going to be in Aurora. If you're going to be in Arapahoe County, you're going to have a 6-month working permit, and if the federal government wants to come down and throw the book at us, we'll deal with the legal costs because people aren't being left with any other choices.
So Hickenlooper then walked back on those comments just a few days later. But what's also interesting here is that this week, Democratic Governor Jared Polis announcing this, a green initiative